Degrassi viewers, this is Devorah, video producer of the Towerlight.
I'm Ashley Bell, assistant video producer of the Towerlight. Who cares about the Towerlight? We're talking about Degrassi.
Exactly, and this is our Sassy Degrassi review, and
we're at a new location. What up, Degrassi viewers?
Yeah, we're in a couch.
Couch. Okay, so this episode of Degrassi, I think it was episodes like 22 and 23 of season 13.
It was called Unbelievable, part 1 and 2, a special 1-hour episode.
And we have so much to talk about.
I don't even know where to start. I guess let's start with the last episode, actually.
Yeah, how did it end? Okay, so last episode there was that whole thing with Miles' party.
And you know, we never really actually touched on it that much because I didn't really think it was that important. But last episode, Zoe got like super drunk.
We did mention that it was kind of weird that they were like taking pictures of her and using it as ammo and they, you know, whatever. They just dropped her off in a shed. We didn't understand why they were taking her to like a shed
or a pool house, as it turns out to be.
We didn't get it, but now it's all coming full circle.
So this episode, we see the aftermath of that because apparently sexual assaults.
By the way, thanks to Degrassi for the beginning trigger warning. That was super awesome.
Trigger warning for everyone else and whatnot for who. So stop watching.
Yeah, trigger warning for the rest of the video. We're going to be talking a lot about probably sexual assault. So now's the time to back away.
So you want to start off?
Sure. So tons and tons of stuff happened in this episode. We're not going to sum it all up for you guys who probably watched it. So we're just going to talk about how we feel, really, about people's different actions.
Alright, I thought everyone except for maybe 2 people in this episode handled the situation well. And
no, opposite. Flip it. Didn't handle it. Yeah, she thinks only like 2 people handled it.
Like, let's start with Becky. My gosh, Becky. Until the end of the episode, I really want to punch you in the face. You don't go and paste or use someone who has had their pictures and stuff put all over the internet and be like, I want to be a super journalist so they can take me serious, so I'm going to profit off this other girl who was sexually assaulted for my journalistic experience. No, I'm on a newspaper. You don't do that. Please stop.
What kills me about that in the beginning is she was originally doing this. She wanted to like slut shame and victim shame people that have been drinking too much. It's a girl's fault for drinking too much. They should be held responsible for their actions.
For it.
Good on you, Degrassi, though, for showing us that's wrong and that's not how that should work, and basically calling out like the Steubenville stuff and everything else. And
frankly, I don't feel like she got enough consequences.
She didn't
in that part. She came off pretty luckily, and she came off as the hero.
Yeah, they kind of touched on it a couple of times throughout. They could have made a stronger argument for that, but they really did delve into it. But whatever.
Like, it just makes me so angry. Becky, wrong. On to the next person who... Drew. He handled it okay. He was like, why are you even accusing me of this? I would never do that. Well, that was kind of terrible, but... he still was trying to find...
There was a recurring theme of guys not being as good at this as girls usually were, honestly. A lot of the guys, like Miles, for example, were like so wrapped up in their own head and what was important.
Yeah, to them.
Everyone was so what was important to them. Nobody really got the bigger picture.
No one was, until like maybe the end, where they were like came together and we were all like, Zoe, we're gonna stand up for you now.
That was at the end.
That was at the end, but like
Grace was good. Grace was just awesome.
Grace was just great. I hope she comes back a lot more.
Yeah, she needs to be more of a character.
Miles was crap this episode.
He got better at the end.
But when he made his big stand, it was about him.
It was stupid.
And it was about his relationship.
It's like, can you, like, I know you're hurting right now because you've probably been sexually assaulted and you're dealing with a lot of stuff, but can you talk to my girlfriend to make sure she's not mad at me? But even later...
What? Yeah, but even later than that, in the basketball scene, he was like, no, I'm not gonna play, blah, blah, blah. Cool.
Well, he was saying that they shouldn't even be doing anything. He wanted to know who did it. He was trying to, like... But it was whatever.
It was still...
Can I just say that I called that it was Becky's brother from, like, the beginning?
He just looks like the type of guy.
Like he does.
That sounds awful.
That came out of nowhere, and I know it does sound really weird, but it was the way he was acting the character, not just the way he looks, too.
Yeah.
It's the actor who was pulling off a good job. Good job on that guy.
Job for the actor.
Honestly, I don't believe you're probably rapist in real life, so people remember that when you watch Degrassi, the actors are not the characters.
Not their characters.
Okay. Very important.
Who else did I get annoyed at this episode?
Maya was... not that involved, really.
Which was like fine. I think Maya handled it pretty well, and that she realized it wasn't her business. She wasn't posting pictures of Zoe up on the wall for everyone to freaking see.
To be honest,
why was
she's
that
been
up there?
She's been slut shamed herself. She kind of gets it. Why? Yeah, I don't understand why Becky and Imogen and was it Drew and they had pictures on like
just for everyone to see.
What are you doing?
Take those down.
That's not okay.
You're stupid. get their driver license taken away, that kind of thing. Stop! Becky, you're an idiot! Oh
Snake was
God.
awesome, the principal. He was good. Called the cops right away. Good job. That's pretty much how we saw him, though. So.
Okay, the cops were really weird when they came to Miles and Winston, and they were talking about, oh, we're here because you've been accused of rape. Like, why did you say that in front of, like, everyone?
Well, that was the principal, actually. He said that.
Yeah, why did he say that in front of that was ridiculous. There was just a lot of stupid stuff.
Whatever. Zoe was interesting, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
She was better acting this time, in my opinion. She had more to work with, I guess. She still wasn't great.
She had a couple bland moments where I was kind of like...
She does her little thing where she always, like, stares all angrily and, like, that's her hurt or something. She's really actually hard to sympathize with the way she acts, which is really interesting. But I think they picked a really, really, really good character for this to happen to. Because it's the type of girl I would have hated in school too. And I like might have been that person that's like, oh yeah, but she had it coming to her. She's such an awful person, and she, you know, she drank so much. But that's what they're really driving you home with. It's still not her fault. It doesn't matter what she does on any other day of the week and how she acted at that party beforehand. She did not consent to any of that, and that is what they're driving home. So that was really, really good, and I'm so glad they did that.
There has to be more that we're not touching on.
I know. Okay, so when did this turn into Glee?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just like 2 seconds, it was just like Glee, and I was like,
sing off.
Stop.
We're gonna throw that in there. And how did Miles get a 9.8? He was an awful singer. Like, okay, it was cute. It was a nice little cute grand gesture. I don't really know why they threw that into this episode.
I don't know.
Trying to make it lighter, I guess.
I think it was for the let's get physical aspect of it.
That's true.
Which I thought was kind of tacky.
Yeah.
To have.
I like that they could only get rights to like super old songs that none of these kids would ever actually sing.
Oh, good job, Degrassi. Gosh.
Dallas was pretty good at his character. Mm-hmm. We didn't see any of Allie, which I thought was really interesting.
Oh yeah.
Allie just didn't exist.
I forgot wow.
Yeah.
You would think she would because like she's been abused and stuff.
Yeah, but she just didn't. I guess she's on vacation or something. I don't know. But Dallas was good. He was like, yeah, but nobody on my team. He's trying to protect his team, keep the team spirit up. But he was missing the bigger picture, and that sounds like something he would do. Claire wasn't really in this either. She was just kind of like, I don't think we should do a few good lines. Yeah, she had some good moments where she was like basically arguing for the right side, in my opinion, which was good.
I thought it was really cute how like all the older kids, when like Becky was trying to like interview with them, were like, oh yeah, we've never drunk. Please,
we never had alcohol.
Never had that. It's cool.
And Dallas is like, yeah, man, I love it. It's like, you know, this is for Degrassi TV and it's gonna be hosted. Everyone's like, oh, you meant alcohol? Nah. It was really funny.
Temple, and it's like that's exactly how the kids would have acted.
I also think it's funny that Becky's brother, whose name Luke, his name's Luke. He had all this stuff on his phone. Like, why would you keep that there? Why would you know there are cops everywhere? You would have deleted it. Like,
yeah, that was kind of contrived.
It was very contrived, but I get the point. Becky made a good decision in the end, but it took her too long to get there.
It took her way too long, and I don't believe that she learned her lesson about slut shaming and victim shaming.
It didn't feel like that.
I felt like she ended up being the victim because her brother sexually assaulted Zoe.
Yeah, which is really weird.
Which is wrong. Like, you might have indirectly been hurt, but it was Zoe who was hurt, not you.
But it's the very ending image thing where everybody was there for her at the end.
That was
really good and really strong. I liked Maya's little line of like, you can borrow him for a day. Yeah. That was a cute little like way to relieve the tension between those two after the last season. So that was good.
Yeah. I mean, it's odd. I think like you said earlier, that I am rooting a bit more for Maya and Miles.
Oh yeah, we felt like we were rooting for them a little bit more this episode.
I mean, it's more on Maya's side, oddly. Not much on Miles because he was just being dumb.
But I like that he listened to Tristan and did the big grand gesture. Yes. Like, what's a grand gesture? What? Shut up.
You not know what a grand gesture is.
Oh, we're all 15 and too young. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to mention. Most of the newer kids, because they're so new and young and everything, they actually still look like they would be in high school, which I think is really important for this.
Because they look so tiny.
They look so young. They look like... It makes it scarier when you think about it happening to kids actually that age. Because it happens all the time.
You're so used to like 27-year-olds, like on Pretty Little Liars, playing these kids, and it's just, and then like
or Glee, 30-year-olds actually,
and it's like you don't really think about how young you looked when you were in high school.
It's like when someone mentioned if they actually casted the actors in Hunger Games, the age they would be. It's so terrifying.
Especially for Catching Fire, when Jennifer Lawrence is probably pushing what 27 now.
Really?
Is she? I don't know.
I thought she was like 24.
24, 25. That's still like 10 years older than, or like 5 years older than Katniss, and it's a big difference.
Yeah, at least 5 years. She was probably like 17 in the second book. So.
She looks a lot older.
Yeah, she looks so much older, and it's just, I don't know. But that's not the point.
No.
The point is these actors actually, most of the ones that they're focusing on, look at their age, and that really makes it scarier and really helps drive the point home. So I really like that. For anybody out there that thinks they've been sexually assaulted or whatever, seriously,
there's helplines, go to, I don't know.
This
just
is not your
talk to
fault.
someone.
Just remember that it's not your fault.
Yeah,
Seriously.
like, not your fault. Talk to someone. I don't know. Don't ever blame yourself.
Yeah, and don't blame the people that have gotten that happen to them. Don't be that person.
Don't.
Learn from the show and learn that it hurts them even more and that it's really not their fault. They didn't make the decision.
This was a really important topic to cover, and
they handled it mostly pretty well.
They handled it pretty well. I don't think the characters in the episode handled it well.
But that's how it would happen in real life, except for Degrassi is a little bit different, but still.
Yeah.
It was weirdly over the top and moronic, and things got wrapped up in a nice little bow at the end when people got their justice, which isn't how it happens.
It's not how it happens.
But I'm glad it did here, because it's a good way to show what should happen.
What should happen, but probably never does. Yeah, I know. Okay.
I think I've said everything, I think.
Yeah, grade?
A-.
Yeah. B+ for Becky.
Fair enough.
Alright. Thanks for watching. Comment below. Tweet us at TowerlightVideo. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.